Meanwhile, behind the facade of this innocent-looking bookstore.
Hello everyone, James here from JVC Paints. I'm trying to get a video out today because I'm going into the city to hand over some figures to a friend of mine. And I thought it would be a good time, now that I've finished some Volkssturm guys, to showcase my Last Levy Army. I've been working on this army probably on and off for, I would say, a good year and a half. Some of these figures have already been in videos of mine and the battle reports. And actually, this unit here, I had a video about, I'd say a year and a half ago, where I did all 10 of them in one day. So I'm just going to go through what I've got to show you guys, because when I do the Reichstag battle report, I don't want to spend too much time on the army introduction, and it might be easier to just sort of put a link to this video in the future, and hopefully that video will come out, in a few months. But anyways, enough of me going on and on and on. This is the Luftwaffe Field Division, and it's a 10-man unit. They're going to be inexperienced in the game, of course. We've got an NCO here. He's got an SMG. We got another SMG here. We got a Faust here, and this guy has a Faust as well. And then we've got an LMG team. I did the camo, the sort of army camo, and then also just the blue uniforms that these guys would have. Next to them is another service of the Wehrmacht. We have the Kriegsmarine. So these guys would have been, I guess, in Kiel or something. They would have been trucked in. Let's see if I can focus a bit better. There we go. We've got the captain who becomes the NCO, and then we've got some other guys there as well. We've got an LMG here in the front. The captain has the captain slash NCO has the SMG here. His first mate has an SMG, and then we've got a Faust here and a Faust here. And I put Faustas on these bases too, but they're not, part of anything. But I really try to do up the bases. Especially for the machine gun guys, I put some ammo crates and the spare tires and things like that. They turn out really, really well. The next one is a bit of a weird one. These are my Volksgrenadiers. I had some nun models. I don't know the name of the manufacturer. The priest in the center who is going to be, or who is the NCO, I think is for the Call of Cthulhu game, or some kind of Cthulhu game. And two nuns on the extreme, your extreme right, my extreme right as well. These ones here are on their left. They're the Warlord Games ones from the Operation Sea Lion. But the rest of them, I had some STG 44s. Start with the shaky cam. I had some STG 44s that I had ordered ages ago, and I had these nun figures. I thought this would be a fun little unit. More for the Battle of Breslau than Berlin, but yeah, they turned out pretty cool. I like them, So we've got Panzerfaust in the back, we got the loader, there's the LMG, and they all have assault rifles. So that's these troops, and now I'm going to take a look at some other troops I have, then we're going to look at some special teams and any little vehicles I can find up. See it. So in this part here, these are the first Volkssturm guys I did from the first Last Levy box that I had from a while ago. It's a 10-man unit. I've given them the more urban, rubbly bases, as you can see, and I've endeavored to do all the armbands, the Deutsche Wehrmacht Volkssturm armbands that they all have on. One of the two guys here in the front, sorry for the shaky cam, I'm trying to get the stick here. One of these two guys would be the NCO, either this dude here or this guy here. And you can see I've got a bunch of Fausts. There's a Faust here. This guy's got a couple of Fausts. This guy's he's shouldering one, and just interesting things like I made like a brat would be like a brass or bronze bust of Hitler that's on the rubble here. Here he's looking at a picture of Marlene Dietrich. Gas cans, little tools, and things like that. Bits and pieces that I had laying around. But yeah, they were incredibly fun to do. Doing the colors and stuff like that was a bit of a mishmash because I found that you'll see in a minute or two, the other Volkssturm guys I did, I ended up basically painting them the same colors, and I kind of wish I had looked at these guys before I started on those guys. In the middle here, we've got the 9-man SS Charlemagne unit. So these guys were definitely going to be in the battle for the Reichstag. So they're the ones that sort of held out, I guess, until they bugged out in the middle of the night on May 1st. But yeah, a really powerful unit. They're all fanatics, all that other baloney. Fausts everywhere, here. I think everybody's got a Faust pretty much. 3 or 4 Fausts. We got the LMG here. This guy would definitely be the NCO, I'm thinking. Let me turn to, maybe you can see his face a little bit better. And, or not. Either him or this ginger guy in the front here. So, yeah, these guys, yeah, same thing. I kind of endeavored to do the bases up a little bit here. Like this guy's got a Luger and his helmet off. He's ready to, you know, pop somebody. We've got the DRP drum magazine there, and just rubble and bits and pieces. And then this one here, this is the this would be the Hitlerjugend one, that unit or section that I did up. Here, the thing that took forever on these ones were the armbands, as you can see here. I free-handed them, and they took quite a while to do. But I did do the bases up with this ones as well. A couple of them have like maybe they were in front of a library or a bookstore or something, so there's some books on the bases and things like that. And I really didn't go to the same lengths with the next set that you'll see in a second here. So these are the first Last Levy and Charlemagne guides I did. Let's take a look at the next ones. Here are the Last Levy figures that I've done recently. I've shown a few of these, I think, in the last video as well. The bases, I've endeavored to do the same thing with the rubble and things like that. There's a bit of a red mistake there. I painted the armband on this guy. I mentioned in the last video that I modeled him after the guy who blows himself up after dinner or before dinner in the Untergang. This figure here and this figure in the back, they're from the, I believe, the Partisans, the original Partisans pack from Warlord. Yeah, they painted up okay. Again, the colors, you're kind of limited with what you can do, you know, greens and browns and blues and things like that. So I've broken the Volkssturm guys into 2 7-man squads here. I imagine I would make this guy here the NCO, or maybe the guy with the Luftwaffe, the NCO. But yeah, so they came out pretty well. Again, I try to do a lot with the bases, but yeah, even the armbands and things like that, which you'll see here on the Hitler Youth kids that I did. I did okay free-handed, but compared to before, I think before I went blind in my right eye, it was a lot easier to do, and now that I still, it's better, but it's a bit more wonky. So here we've got just a little small six-man unit. They're all Fausted up. I've given an extra SMG to that one there. And then for some officers in command here, we've got Merkel, who is going to be the medic. And then over here we have the actual officers. I picked this guy out of the cabinet because he looked like Monka, who was the commander near the end in Berlin. And the 2 Hitlers here, what we're going to do in the game, I have a third one who's just like a civilian guy who has a little Hitler mustache. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make it so that 2 of them are doppelgangers and one of them is the actual Hitler. So there'll be like decoys and things like that. So so we haven't decided which one, or, you know, in the game we'll sort of randomize it, and our opponent or my opponent won't know who it is, but that'll be big time victory points if they get the right one. So that's the command and the last of the troops. Let's take a look at some of the special weapons teams I have. Starting off with the MMG for my weapons teams, this figure I bought in Canada a long time ago. I don't know the range. I should say I don't remember the name of the range of the figure, but I thought it was a cool figure, and I did a really small conversion. All I did was I swapped out the head with the Fallschirmjäger head here. Then I just have the 2 sort of backup guys, but basically I'm going to operate it as an MMG. I just thought it kind of looked cool. I gave it a little bit of flavor. Next to them, I've got, this will be my sniper team. This guy has the STG-44 that can shoot around corners, that special little barrel. So I thought this would be kind of cool to use this guy as a sniper. And then this guy here, he's the 10th man from the Charlemagne unit. So because he was prone, I figured, okay, he'd be a good sort of backup guy for this guy. And his head is actually one of the Gauls heads from Conquest of Conquest of Gaul, the Hail Caesar box set. So I used one of those heads there. Next to them, I have a pack, and this is one of the first bolt action models that I did for my German army way back when. 4-man crew. Each guy can come off. I'm not going to pick them up, but you can see that. Well, I'll pick one guy up. Here we go. There you go. That they can be removed and stuff like that. The gun can also be removed, so depending on the situation, I can either have it on this base or I can put it in a building or something like that. Next to them, I have my Panzerschreck team. With all the Faust, I probably don't need one, but I painted this figure up. I got this figure actually When Alessio came to Japan, he's a mate of a mate of mine, and he had some Terminator Genesis stuff, and it was like either this one or the teddy bear one, and I was like, I called dibs on this one. So he's carrying the Sarah Connor, and then his backup guy here has the flag, and his base as well. He's got a bucket of potatoes. It says, I think it says Furwehr on it. And the last sort of weapon team I have here is the medium mortar. And his base is really, really sort of generic. I didn't really do too much with it. But the spotter base, on the other hand, I really went all out. As you can see, well, maybe you can't see because of the light. I'll move him to the center here. I made like a Lowenbrow sort of bar sign, and I really kind of endeavored to sort of blend him into the base itself. So after this, I'm going to show you some vehicles, and then that'll be it for me today. Here are the vehicles for my Last Levy Army that we'll be using in that Reichstag battle in the weeks to come here. First up, we have, I guess, like a Jeep, a transport, small transport. It's a Beetle, as you can see. I've hacked the door off of it, and I've done a few detailing things, like, you know, just chips and things like that. Somebody's bloodied hands. I'll rotate it about. Maybe we can see a little bit inside there. Maybe if I move the light, you can see inside we've got a driver. And he's got an STG-44 on the passenger seat, and just bullet holes and kind of stuff like that. I mean, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. I wrote the slogan on the side that they had on the walls there, "Fight till the end," that kind of stuff. So, and then just bullet holes and things like that. So it turned out pretty well. I've used it a couple times. It's a cool little car. And then the ubiquitous MMG bike. Whenever I play the Germans, I always have this bike. I've painted so many of them, and this is the one that I would probably be using for this battle, because the base sort of matches up with all the other figure bases as well. And of course, the iconic King Tiger. In these kind of games, we don't really count points, so I figure, okay, I'll throw it in. I'm sure my opponent Mario and Gio, those guys will probably have like, you know, 5 or 6 T-34, so it's not so bad. But we have the crew as well. So if it gets knocked out or I run out of gas or something like that, we've got to. I can run these guys around as a little 3-man unit in case I wanted to take an objective or whatever. And then finally over here we've got. Let me move the barrel of the Tiger out of the way. We have the. Let me move the light over. There we go. We have the 88 that was on the front lawn of the Reichstag. So 7-man crew. These two guys here are just some civilians that I rounded up. I'll move the camera over here maybe. Whoops, you got a bit of peek of my desk there. So yeah, and then we've got that spotter unit that I just sort of finished up here real quick. So the gun is actually a Tamiya gun. It's not the Warlord gun, and it's a really cool model. And if you get a chance to buy it, I would highly recommend it. It's really, really nice. And the sandbags are Tamiya as well. So that's it for me, guys. That's it for today. You can see some of the scenery and stuff that we have accumulated for this thing. You've seen the Berlin house. We've got another one back there, that one over there. And we got a blown up Hanameg. So, whoops, cockeyed cam. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Everyone have a great weekend. Like I said before, I'm off to Tokyo, so hopefully I can pick up some kits and maybe some brushes and things like that. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you later. Keep those brushes moving.